What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Every Week We Follow. I'm your host, James Clifton, and I'm here with my good friend, the bold one, Gary Bennett. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. The rebuild starts here, dude. I know we haven't got anything officially confirmed yet, right? Apart from Goretzka, but yeah, this could be the time to get excited, right? I mean,
Definitely.
We said it yesterday, but I think I'll be more excited in 6 or 7 weeks' time once these players have had a chance to bed in. But you know, the rebuild is almost there. Everyone's out the door. We've started afresh. We flushed the toilet, got rid of all the shite, and and now we go again.
Gone down the U-bend.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we are here to discuss Arsenal. The Arsenal, as Thierry Henry rightly said in the Champions League draw yesterday. We will have a guest on very soon. We'll be bringing Josh in, who is an OG fan of the channel. I think he was our first subscriber, if I'm honest. But he's a good friend of mine and has been good to the channel and supportive of the channel throughout its life. But yes, we'll be talking about Arsenal. But let's quickly talk about... I was watching some stuff about Goretzka because I thought it was a holding mid. Have I got that wrong? Is he actually more of an advanced? Is he kind of an 8?
Well, he's a box-to-box midfielder, yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Got a goal him, so I think he'll do a bit of both. I think looking at him,
because he can break the lines by the looks of it, and he's actually got he can break a low block.
Yeah, I think Kamara will be the holding midfielder, and he'll be the one that I guess the new Yuri Tillemans potentially. We'll see what he's made of. Well, one thing I will say, I watched his arrival video at Bodymoor Heath yesterday, mate. He looks like an athlete, man. I was like, wow, this guy is ripped. And I'm sitting on the fence in terms of performances. I haven't really watched him or studied him enough in German football to say this guy's, the real deal or not. But he's obviously very well thought of in Germany. It's all pointing in the right direction. So in Unai, we trust. Let's just hope he can adapt to the Premier League very quickly and become.
I think the Bundesliga is probably the closest league to the Premier League in terms of that kind of physicality and the way they play and stuff. I think usually they find that Bundesliga players do quite well in the Premier League and vice versa. And also,
he's made by Audi clearly. So looking at that,
Dirk technique. He's also because he's playing for Bayern. He's very used to facing that low block, playing that kind of possession-based football. So he should slot in really nicely, hopefully. But this is point of recording on Friday morning. Nicolas Jackson still hasn't gone through yet. Liao hasn't gone through yet.
Sorry, Jackson.
Yeah, so we're still waiting on that, but we will act as if it's happened. Don't want to jinx it, but we're going to act as if it happened for when we do the lineup predictions, etc. Before I bring Josh in, before he can have a defense, how are you feeling about this? How are you feeling about this fixture?
Mate, look, I've gone through a roller coaster of emotions this week because after the Brighton game, I was thinking, oh my God, we're going to get absolutely mullered. Right, having watched Arsenal, but Arsenal are obviously a very good side and they've got strength in depth now. And now we're going to have to face our best defender that we've had in a while, as if he's making his debut at Villa Park. Konsa, man, it just
it'll be interesting to see if Josh has got him in the lineup, but I assume that would be the case.
I think he'll start, mate, and that's going to be emotional. But I think as this week's gone on, and it was obviously the Ollie Watkins saga is finally over. I think we just need to kind of get to the end of this window, which unfortunately is Tuesday. But things are looking a little bit better. Goretzka confirmed is really important, I think, because I was worried about that. Obviously Gomez sent off. We missed the game. Who do we have to replace him? It's hit and miss really because it's a bit of a first game to go into, right? Do you know what I mean? At home to the reigning champions. So, it's going to be a real test for him, but I assume he'll go straight into that starting 11.
Yeah, he's a seasoned pro, mate. He knows.
And like I say, he looks in great shape, mate, in terms of when he was doing his fitness testing yesterday. So I would, and then you've got obviously the Nicolas Jackson and Liao thing. Even if we could get one of them,
Nicolas Jackson,
that's going to be happening a lot, people. And let's hope that he's done and dusted over the line and can start and lead the line, because we are thin. It looks like at the moment, Maggio is still coming up on the injured list. But, we won't. I assume there'll be a press conference today at some point.
Yeah, we always love doing these before the press conference.
Yeah.
We always do these, and then about 5 minutes later, or just before we've scheduled for this to go live, there's a press conference, and everything that we talked about is completely duped. Everyone's injured. All the signings are done, and basically we're completely wrong. So
yeah, but I mean, I'll jump on TikTok later if that happens and things are confirmed, just to kind of give an update. But yeah, that's the big important one. We need someone to lead the line. Obviously, we've got the likes of. I expect Hemmings to feature again. I didn't think he did too badly going forward.
We'll go over that. We'll go over that in the predicted lineup.
Yeah. But I'm just thinking in terms of going forward. What this week has been going through my head in terms of what are we going to do in these positions, sort of thing. And I felt anxious, if I'm honest. And obviously, not everyone, but there's a big portion of our fan base that are having a meltdown, mate. We've sold everyone. Like it's over. Like Emery's got to earn his money. It's too much work to do. There is a lot of doom and gloom in certain areas. But I've chosen happiness this week, mate. And in fact, I bumped into James BD, who sits in front of us at the Villa at football yesterday, mate, because his son trains at where I play. And I was like, "So what do you think?" And he was like, "Yeah, man, I'm excited." And I was like, "Yes, come on, James, let's get excited, right? Because it's more of a battle plan than we probably any of us will ever know, right?" And the fact that Unai Emery is up for it and ready for it, then I'm cool, man. Like, it's going to take a little bit of time, but all I ask for Monday's game is that we turn up and put a shift in. Right, I don't expect us to win the game, but I expect us to make it a difficult game for Arsenal and not roll over like we did against Brighton.
Yeah. I'm definitely feeling a bit more positive than I was like 2 or 3 days ago. But just got to realise it's Arsenal, isn't it? It's gonna be a fun game. Right, let's bring the man in. Switch me over, not that side. There we go. Oh, move us around. Hey, there we go. Welcome to the show, Josh. I believe you've been on once before. You always seem to dodge it when Villa look like they're going to do something, and then when it's very much Arsenal's day, you seem to come on and talk to us.
Look, now all the stress has gone because we managed to get it over the line. I'll turn up every week if you want. I'll turn up every week and I'll preview whoever we're playing. It's fine by me now.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, Arsenal are going to be heavy favourites for this one, especially considering like Villa's start to the season against Brighton. That wasn't all that great. Arsenal had a good start. Obviously, you have brought in the magical Ezri Konsa, and it looks like Martinelli. Is Martinelli gone?
Going. It's kind of in the same stages as the Watkins deal with the same.
Is he
going
to be playing? He's going to be playing with Ollie. That's going to be weird. Yes. So tell us how you're feeling before this game. How's everyone? How are the Arsenal fans feeling about this season as well?
I mean, look, off the back of last year, I think it's such an enormous amount of stress. Like, I think you saw the emotional release from the Arsenal fans at the end of that season, and just the scenes in North London. And I think going into this season, if we hadn't won, we'd have been feeling sick. Like, no one would have looked forward to this season. It would have been a severe stress. Like, it really would have been. The fact that they got it over the line last year, there's no stress. I look forward to this season. It's the first time I turned up to a game against Coventry and was like, I can just enjoy this. Like, the stress was not the same as it feels like it's been before sort of getting this over the line. I think we looked really good against Coventry. I think a more important game, to be honest, was the City one before that. I think Coventry, for me, are probably one of the favourites to go down. I think I read their entire squad's salary per week last season was the same as what we pay Havertz. It's like 300k a week for their whole squad. It's one player, so it's you don't want to. It's crazy, right? But you don't want to look too much into.
I think that's insane on both counts. That's insane that like theirs is so low and Havertz is so ridiculously high.
Yeah. It's insane.
I'm assuming their squad salary is now higher than that. I
mean, they must have brought some people in, but it's the biggest. I think it's the biggest ever disparity in Premier League history from first to last in terms of squad spend this season. Like, it's truly enormous. we're like 5.5 million a week. They're like 300k a week. Like
5.5 million a week.
They're not the same business, right? They're like not the same business.
Yeah,
but
wow.
I think that Coventry game was great to watch us come out first game and look sharp. I think it's quite rare that you see teams come out and look very sharp immediately in the season. So that was nice. But again, like, they weren't a great team. I really think though Solis looks like a great addition on the left-hand side.
Good old Quantum.
Very excited to see what he looks like as we go through the season. He's very direct. It's interesting. He was at the Coventry game, and you'll see him. He won't just cut inside. He'll cut inside, and he'll end up on Saka's wing. He'll end up on the right wing, and he'll literally cross the field entirely, and you'll end up with these weird sort of overloads and things. So his movement looks quite interesting. He just nothing really flashy, but everything he does well. Passes are all on target. He's very direct when he gets the ball. A lot of intent. I think Lewis Skelly's I think he's just phenomenal. I think he's honestly might be keeping Bruno out of the team, even when Bruno's back as well in midfield. We'll go through the projected lineup, but I do think Konsa does turn up this week as well. I think we brought him in to replace Saliba for the half of the season while Saliba's dealing with his back issue. So it's providing he's ready and he's seen what he wants to do from training. I don't see any reason why we don't see Konsa against you guys.
It'll be interesting to see what reception he gets. I think because everyone was like perfectly fine with him going. I think we're all very, very happy for what he did. It did get a little bit spicy though last season at times with Konsa. There was a couple of times where he was having altercations with the fans, and he was like, and we were like, "Oh,
yeah, Wolves away, that was, mate."
Wolves away, and there was another one as well. There was a couple of games within the space of like a week or two, and yeah, it was a little bit spicy. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of reception he gets. I'm sure it'll be good.
Mate, I think I've got the reason why he left, because 7 years at the club, and we didn't have a song for him.
Yeah, I know.
Best players, right? And he's probably
thought,
believe it. Cheery boy. Why would I even bother with the fan
base?
He clearly doesn't give a crap about me. Right?
It was in the Europa League final, wasn't it? And then like all the players. So what was happening with Josh was at the end, and you had like the Villa fans in the stand still cheering and chanting. The players on the pitch, and they're like all chatting and stuff.
Yeah, I was there for that, maybe.
And then each of them, never knew. And then each of them was coming forward one by one and getting the fans would go quiet, and then the player would start a chant. So like then I think Morgan Rogers started Super John McGinn and that kind of thing, and then they were like, "Oh, Ezri," and he was like, "No, I ain't got a song." He was like, "No," he was like, "I ain't going. I ain't got a song."
And there was the first clue. He was out the door.
Yeah, probably would. But yeah, I think you're right around Arsenal. It's an interesting one this season because obviously last season you got over the line. You still almost messed it up again.
April was terrible. We had like no points in the whole of April.
I think this season though, I think you're more favourites, I think, than you have been for the last as long as I can think of, because City in massive transition. Obviously, you battered them in the Community Shield. Liverpool transition. Chelsea, I think they're probably like one of the biggest contenders this season for the fact that they don't have any European football. New manager, knows what he's doing, really strengthened the fact they've brought in Morgan Rogers and Emi Martinez from Villa, who somehow managed to strengthen a top six rival. And then
transfer buddies. Oh,
transfer. Yeah. Oh, friends. And then like Spurs, they're going to be spending, but they're probably not going to be up there. Man U still in transition. Right? Yeah, exactly. So you're kind of overwhelming favourites. I'd be quite personally. I'd be disappointed if you didn't really win it.
Also, Josh, before you answer that, just that if you get Julian Alvarez as well, which is I know he's batting around, then mate, I think it's the only thing that Arsenal have been lacking in properly for the last few seasons is a top quality striker. And I know Gyökeres has been okay, but like Alvarez, mate, for me I was talking about that. Like if Villa could get him like as a dream signing, obviously we could never afford him, but yeah, what a player that guy is. I think he's phenomenal. Yeah,
the Alvarez link is definitely exciting, and I think if you go into a season with Alvarez, Gyökeres, Havertz, I mean, the Havertz and Alvarez profiles are a little more similar, but you get a couple of really interesting different pieces to start to play with there. So it sounds like it might happen strictly because we're the only club in for him, and they flat out are releasing statements every day with the entire board behind them saying we're not selling to Barcelona, they're scumbags. It's a really funny situation.
And you can literally just play 10-1. and you'll be fine.
And pretty much, and they basically said that he will come in, but will have a release clause that will come in after 2 years. So we sell him to Barca. So he'll still get his dream move to Barca, but we'll get him for 2 years. And then there's a release clause that comes in 29. So because we'll sell him to Barca, they won't. Atletico won't, but we will.
Yeah.
I love that from Atletico. So there's no way you go into an arch rival. You've got two options. You either sit in the reserves or you go to Arsenal for 2 years.
Rot and die or go abroad. Completely unapologetically. Just
whereas we're just happy to just start strengthening every team around us. Right. Anyway, let's get on to lineup predictions now. So here, this is the Arsenal. So Josh, if you can just take us through like the top line here, exactly how you think they're going to line up, who we got to watch out for. I mean, it's Arsenal. We all know who your team is.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally one change since the Coventry game, which is just Mosquera out for Konsa. I think right now this is pretty.
It just sounds so wrong. You saying that, Josh. It hurts my heart a little bit. I don't think I'm emotionally ready for Monday now.
It's going to look very weird for you guys. You watch him walk out the tunnel in a different strip. That is going to be weird.
That
was weird for us when Emery
left. Nervous.
That was weird for us when Emery first left.
Right?
He was a real great servant to the club, and it's funny. I actually wanted to touch on Emery, but I'll come back to it at the end because now he's leaving you guys for a club that everybody hates as well. It's he's an interesting love or hate character, but he's really pushing me towards hate more and more as the years go on. But I'll touch on that. But no, this is the team. This is the team. I think we're really strong at fullback. I think Calafiori, honestly, I think he's such a classy player. I think he's very dangerous down the left-hand side. I think that relationship with Solis is going to develop through the year. I think that left side's going to be interesting to watch. But the midfield is the engine of this team. I mean, Lewis, Skelly, Odegaard and Rice are the reason that we control games. So I'd really look to that midfield. Odegaard has played 2 brilliant games so far this year. Odegaard wasn't at his best last year, and he was still pretty decent, but he wasn't at his best, and he ended up sort of dropping out of the team, and Eze got a lot more minutes. But Odegaard so far this season has looked like Odegaard of old, and I think if he is at his top form, it's just another massive piece for an already very strong team. I feel good about it, but we played you last 3 games. We played you at your place. I think we've lost 2 of them. So I think this is the best time for us to be playing you. I think you are in transition right now. I don't think you know what your team is right now. I think in 10 games, you're an entirely different team to where you are today. Yeah. So I think this is a great time for us to come to your place.
We're an entirely different. I mean, potentially we're an entirely different team on come Monday than we are today. It's absolutely bizarre, bizarre transfer window. But yeah, I'm looking at this team. I'm just like, oh my god, like that defense.
Yeah.
God, that
defense. You've got Saliba in it, right?
There's
no Timber. Well, Timber's probably a better right back.
Well, I mean, I've been set up. Yeah, I mean, you talk about Saliba. I mean, we've obviously spoke about this, and we've said, Konsa's coming in for the 6 months to kind of cover. I expect there to be a bit of a transition period for Saliba anyway. I don't expect him to come straight back in, but I really do think you're underestimating how good Konsa is. Like, I think
you've raved about him for ages. And look, we bought a 28-year-old who's in his prime. He's a experienced Premier League professional. We brought him in because he's a very established, very good player. So he's definitely going to get in there. But right now, I would very much struggle to say he's better than Saliba. I'd definitely have Saliba. I think Saliba's one of the best.
Even John Terry thinks he's better than Saliba. That's been on this week. He was on a podcast site. And how can you argue with a Chelsea player, mate?
It's actually John Terry, of all of the Chelsea players, to not argue with. Or the honourable...
Yeah. Well, he's also like seeing Konsa up close.
Yeah, he's up close. He obviously was at the Villa, right? So, but that is high praise because what John Terry, while I don't agree with him on a personal level, was a fabulous footballer and he did a really good job as a coach at Villa. So I have got respect for him in that aspect. He clearly knows what he's talking about. But I guess having first-hand experience with Konsa, look, obviously that's how the fan base works, right? You've got a real insight into Saliba and what he's done, and you know that player, so you're obviously going to favour that. But yeah, don't underestimate Konsa. He's been sensational. The numbers don't lie, and even it's a record transfer for a centre half at his age, 28, I think 55 million. But I think that's a steal for him. He's 28 years old. You could probably get 5 years out of him at top level. So this one's emotional for me.
I think that brings up an interesting point and goes back to what James was touching on around around like us being favourites right now and this sort of window of all these other teams in transition. We've heard a lot of the board at Arsenal talk about aiming for this specific window because they knew teams would be going into transition. So they had aimed to build the squad to get these 28, 27, 28-year-olds, these older guys for the next 5 years. It's because we know that City's in transition, Liverpool's in transition. So if we can capitalise when every other team's weak, this is why you're seeing a favourite who's a bigger favourite than we've had in the Prem for a serious number of years, because there's always been 2 teams that are really good. But this year, there's one team that knows who they are. No one else knows who they are yet.
Yeah, that's very true. I think
as painful as that is to agree with, yes, that is very, very true.
I know. I mean, I'm just desperate to see. I mean, we probably won't see him as much because obviously Nicolas Jackson looks like he is coming in, and if he can come in by midday today, then he can play on Monday.
Would you think he plays?
I think if he comes in, well, because Ollie will have gone, and Majo's only
it's not going to be Buendia again, is it? Yeah.
No, I mean the only player is potentially Majo.
And the only at the moment, he's still coming up on the injured list. So, but there has been rumours speculating that he could be fit for Monday. And I don't know if Unai Emery is just keeping that close to his chest to kind of.
I would love to see Brian Majo up against Konsa and Gabriel, mate. It's just like basically you just go, right, test yourself against the toughest defence you're probably going to face in the entire season.
He's basically built like a big centre back, right?
Mate, he will, like, I know how strong Konsa and Gabriel are, but they will bounce off him. He's ridiculous. He will just steamroll. Like, he's, mate.
We're trying to get carried away.
Mate, but if he goes out onto that left-hand side, like he has been in some games as well, he's going to absolutely flatten Ben White. Like, he will just run him over.
Yeah, this kid is not normal. I don't know what he's being fed. I'm like, I'm trying not to get excited, but when you every so often there's a generational talent, right? And you just go, I've seen enough in the short period of time with Majo. He's only 17, but he's not built like anybody. Like, he's just an absolute unit, and the way he's manhandled every defence he's come up against in pre-season. I know it's pre-season, but I think people will underestimate him. People will say, well, he's only 17. He's only, he's not proven in the Premier League. And I think that's going to work so much into his advantage. I think he's going to tear up trees, giving them. I don't think he'll start. I don't think he'll start. But James and I talked about this yesterday. I think the plan will be because Jackson's so similar to the way Ollie plays, I think he'll go and run teams raggy for 60, 70 minutes. And then Brian, mate, get on there now and just absolutely go and destroy what's left. Yeah. Right, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Obviously, of course, it's the unknown. So I understand why lots of Villa fans are apprehensive about this opening start to the season, going, it's all doom and gloom. But I think there's enough there to be excited about. So yeah, I hope he's fit for Monday. It might be a bit too soon. So Nicolas Jackson is essential that we get him over the line to play on Monday, because otherwise it's Buendia and Barkley again, and I don't know. I don't want to see that. I just don't want to see that again.
I know Majo's a little younger than Benteke was, but does it feel a little Benteke-esque?
It does. I think he looks better. I think Benteke had to grow into it and got better as it. But yeah, Benteke always had the physical presence. But this guy, it's not just about the physical, because you can get the physicality at that age, right? But it's what you do with it, and the way that he's held off defenders but then finished and clinically finished. Like you're talking, in the PSG, in the Super Cup game with Macho, whatever his name, the way he held him off, right? He shouldn't be doing that. He shouldn't be able to be doing that.
Not at 17, yeah.
Not at 17, and he's grappling with him, and the guy cannot, and he's just composed enough to finish like that. And the biggest compliment I'm giving for me was against Walsall, League Two side, where the defenders, all they've got really is the physicality. They're going to pull you, they're going to kick you, because they know they can't compete with you on a technical level. And he's held off a centre half with one hand, right? And you can see the guy trying to get round him. He just can't do it.
It's like holding a kid off. It's like legs are just
he's literally just like that, mate.
And then the funniest thing in the Super Cup final, after he scored the goal, little Matson runs up to him, like pushes him to celebrate, and literally just full. It's like, mate,
Macho doesn't move. I mean, he did. I mean, he had that one against Porto, didn't he? He was running down the left wing, came into the box. The defender tried to stand him up and just literally bounced off him. it's absolutely unreal. So I'd love to see, even if it is just 10, 15 minutes of Brian Maggio up against this defence. I'd love to see it personally.
But one for this season, he's my player to watch for sure, Maggio. I think he's got massive potential and a fantastic manager to kind of, put it in motion and develop him. So yeah, let's bring that on.
Exactly. So Gary, we've got here your predicted lineup. Obviously, this is presuming Nicolas Jackson goes in. It was quite funny because you sent me one before the signings were done, and I was like looking at it going, we can't predict this lineup. This is depressing. So we threw Jackson in. Obviously, we've got Goretzka now as well in there as well. So take me through it, Gaz. You don't just go through the whole team, but go through the main.
No, I just think the concern is that centre back pairing, right? It was shown on last weekend against Brighton that against pace they're going to struggle. So what if we're going to have any hope of getting anything out of this game? We've got to keep Arsenal in front of us, right? That midfield, actually, as I said to you, James, before we come on air, Goretzka, this is a game to drop him into for sure because it's going to be intense. Like we've done that in the past. That's how we beat you last season in December. We were just that good in midfield. I think we really nullified Arsenal the way they play and kept it in front of us, right? And broke quickly down the wings. And obviously it was Eze's one of the worst games in Arsenal. So I think he got hauled off at half time, right? Because he didn't follow Cash's run. So yeah, that's my concern there. Kamara, again, he's now got to get used to another person playing alongside him. It didn't work last weekend against Brighton, but they look good against PSG. Two different very teams. So can they gel straight away? And can we, stop Odegaard? Can we stop Royce, making those bursting runs? And I think Maatsen and Cash can deal with the pace of Saka and your new right winger. I think they've got the ability, but it's all about whether that middle section gels, and so that's an understanding between Torres and Goretzka. And Torres probably had the worst game I've seen him have last season. Like I couldn't believe how poor he looked, and it was frustrating because it's one of those sides. Right, pre-game against Brighton, he was like, right, we're focused, and we know there's lots of change happening, but we know what's expected, we know what to do, and then you go, mate, why have you passed the ball to someone in blue? Did you think Bizot was playing in blue? I've watched that back about a million times, and I go, I don't know what he saw. Well, this is a professional footballer. What did you see in that moment to do what you did? I don't understand.
I don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand what happened there.
And so ultimately, for me, this is about just being difficult to beat on Monday. Right, I'm not expecting us to win the game. It's right. Just do the things that you can do well. Keep it tight. Don't allow any stupid errors to gift. We don't need to gift you any opportunities. You'll create them on your own. We don't need to go and make those kind of mistakes to punish ourselves because. Unfortunately, where it is at the moment as well, and I've said this on a couple of shows and on TikTok, is that Monday night's really important for atmosphere at Villa Park. Obviously, with the North Stand being out of commission, and 37,000 fans will be there. Now, in the Championship, we had 32,000. The atmosphere was electric. So I want us to get behind that. And if we make a mistake, or there's a portion of our fan base that are like, Emery doesn't know what he's doing. There's too much change. Like it could suddenly get very quiet and eerie, and if that happens, then Arsenal could have a field day. So this is really important, this game, just from a performance perspective, that we don't do anything stupid and keep it tight and give you a game.
Well, as long as we don't go 4-0 down within half an hour, it's an improvement.
Well, that's an improvement, right? It could be 4-0 overall, but as long as it's not 4-0 within half an hour, I'll be happy.
I will say, I think it's very, very rare that you ever see a team get pasted back to back in the Prem. You don't really see a team go 4-0, 4-0. I do think we'll win, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any sense. I think it's going to be a tough game.
Whenever there's records to be broken, mate.
Don't be so pessimistic. Look, it would be so Villa to turn up on Monday and put in a real shift, right? And give us a little bit of hope, right? So I'm like you, Josh. I don't think it will be a pacing. I don't think we're going to win the game, if I'm honest. But I think draw at best. But I think we'll lose narrowly, maybe by a goal or something like that. And that's I'll be happy with that. If that's it, I'll go. Yeah, take that on the chin. Arsenal are flying. You've got the depth. You've got the players that are looking sharp, like you said in that opening. I watched that commentary game and was really impressed with how you dismantle commentary. I think commentary were a little bit naive in the way that they went, about their game. Like, you're going, mate, you're away. Just put 10 men behind the ball and try and like, draw the game. Like the gaps they left when you playing, like, you're just exposed. And that's a sign. This is how good Arsenal are, and they've been this way for the last 3 or 4 seasons. You pick teams apart if you allow you to. You've got the players to punish people. So if we don't do that, I'm looking forward to the game. I'm looking forward to being back at Villa Park. I think the atmosphere will be good to start with. If we can maintain that, then maybe we give you a game, lose by the odd goal, we come away, we focus on getting to that international break that gives us a little bit of time to players to get fit and kind of, have a bit of bonding, whatever.
We got signings we forgot about. You got Manzambi. We hadn't even seen him touch grass. Like, he hasn't even played yet because he's got an injury. So he's going to be like, you forget how big a player he could be for us. So you got him. You've actually got Jackson now. You've potentially got Leao. You've got Goretzka. And actually, I'm like, okay, actually, no, we've got a team here. The Hemmings, do you think he will start over Garnacho?
Yes.
Do you think Hemmings is the starter
at the moment? Because, like, Garnacho's head's all over the place. You saw it in pre-season. Like, I think Emery will work with Garnacho. I'm not saying I think Garnacho will get the opportunity to play and start. At the moment, he looks like a little bit of a lost puppy. I think it's kind of. I've said this to you. Like, he needs to get his head out of social media and his head off what he's been done in previous clubs, right? Because there's a lot of hatred for this guy, man. He's been rinsed on social media for anything he says, anything he does. It's been pinpointed, it's been memed, it's been cut up into shorts, and I think Emery's probably saying to him, "Look, mate, just." And McGinn said this on the overlap, right? He said, "If you want to watch that,
I'm watching that.
Need to watch it, mate. John McGinn is an absolute. He's
brilliant, isn't he?
I just love this guy so much, right? But he said, like, if you want to improve under Unai Emery, you will improve. But you've got to. It's his way or the highway, right? It's kind of he said obviously players come through Villa with like potential. He used John Duran as a thing. He said John Duran's the best finisher I've ever seen, right? And he could have been a world beater, but he actually said he called him mental.
Well, he said
he's mental. Like, that's what he said. And I thought, I've left that in. Okay, right, fair enough. And this is it. And you've had other players that are probably, even to the things of like Ollie Watkins and Yuri Tillemans, even more, like, these are all players that are coming away going, it's easier at Man United. And players in the past have said it. 3 years under Unai Emery is enough to kind of send you into a dark room to go, I need to rethink my life, right? So I just think the likes of Garnacho, if he can listen to Unai Emery, he's got an opportunity to improve himself as a player and be an asset for us, because we haven't had natural wide wingers that will go out on the outside and attack players, right? It's always been inverted wingers for the last 3 or 4 seasons. And you've got a young guy like Alisson, who obviously Unai Emery's picked and looks like he could be a player. Again, we haven't seen a lot of him. And Garnacho. So it gives us a different way of playing. So we can still play with those inverted wingers, because we've got, like, George Hemmings will do that and John McGinn will do that when he starts. But in terms of, running teams ragged and then having that option to go, actually, you two go out there and really attack the fullbacks, and then you can bring Maggio on, who's going to be an absolute beast in the box. Like, I'm excited by it to see how it develops. So yeah, fingers crossed, mate. But Hemmings for me gets the nod. He's proven in pre-season. I didn't think he had a terrible game last week. I think it was okay. You could have picked so many other players that were off. He did try, and he got in some great positions. In fact, there was one where Gomes should have played him in. And just before we conceded the second goal, he was running through. He was clear, free on the left, and for some reason he just played it out to the right. And McGinn had 4 players around him. So decision making stuff, and this is all part of the transition, right? It's all part of the rebuild, getting used to players. But I like the look of Hemmings. He seems like he's grown over the summer. He's only 19, 20, and he feels like he's filled out a little bit. He looks different to what he did last year. So yeah, hopefully he can have a bit of a run in the team and prove Emery right.
Yeah, brilliant. Right, on to match score predictions now. So I can never know there's like different mirroring going on. So this one for me is Villa, and this one's Arsenal.
So your left hand is
your camera flipped though?
Yeah, I should. Yeah, so mine it like mirrors. If I'm looking in a mirror. This is
brilliant, by the way. For everyone who's only listening, this is fantastic.
Yeah, I know.
This hand is here. This hand is here.
Hey, it's just as well we're not on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or anything like that.
How long have you been doing this now? 2 years. This is professional as hell, man.
Mate, honestly, mate, we were doing a stream yesterday of the.
I was watching it. It just went off.
Yeah, because Gary went. He was like, mate, I just put my phone away. I was like, yeah, you obviously put it in your pocket and it pressed the end stream button. I was like, for God's sake.
No, I got in the car to drive the football, put my phone in the pocket, and I was like, minding my own business. La 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 la.
Just got to the point that Villa's pot appeared. James went, oh, and then it went black. I was like,
and because when the outro plays, you can't stop it. It's a real
the outro just played. Yeah.
Well, it's a real fault with StreamYard. You can't like stop the ending. Like you can't. It's going. I'm just like, this is just a ticking time bomb. I can't do anything about it. And then like, but yeah, I was sitting there, and then because it mutes your mic automatically, and I'm sitting there going, "No, Gary, no, Gareth, you muppet! What have you done?"
Like 200 people in the live.
Yeah, literally 220 people. As well. I was like, "Mate, Gary, what have you done?" Anyway, and I was like, "I ain't starting it again. Right. So I've got Villa here and Arsenal here. So me and Gary will go first. So Gary, you ready? Which side's your Villa?
So I'll do the same as yours. This is Villa. This is Arsenal.
Oh, so for me, I'm looking at that, and it's the opposite.
Yeah. So you must be. I'm not. So this is my left hand. You put up your left hand. This is my right hand. So that's your left hand, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that sounds anyway. Yeah.
But what I'm seeing is probably the opposite of what you're seeing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Hang on. Villa, Arsenal.
Villa, Arsenal.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Oh,
I'm going to 2-1 Arsenal.
Okay, yeah. I'm going 3-1 Arsenal. Personally, I think we'll be looking to get a goal. If I'm honest, and I think they'll just have too much fun.
I think this game is just coming at the wrong time for us. And as much as I want to be an optimist and say we can win any game at Villa Park, which we know we can, I just think this is too soon for us to play a squad that is established and already looking like really sharp. So yeah,
I agree. Go on, Josh. Rub it in.
Give me Arsenal to Villa 0. I think it's going to be a tough game. I think we're going to have to fight for it, but I think we're too good right now. I hate being this confident, but we look like the best team in the league right now. And
it's
I back that lineup.
Agree with that
lineup.
Yeah,
they're going to get it done. So
I mean, me and Gary will be there. We'll be there under the lights. We will be. Gary, you going to do some like preview kind of stuff, live stuff of the game?
Yeah, when I get there, I'll jump on TikTok live, walking down to the ground, go to outside the warehouse for a bit, and see if we can get some score predictions, etc. Should be good. Looking forward to being.
You'll be watching it on the old Sky Sports, Josh?
I will be in Italy, so if Sky works, yes. Otherwise, I'll be streaming it.
Yeah.
I stream. Sure.
I mean, if you're in Italy, though, surely you can find a pub that's showing that.
I should be able to find something. I'll be watching it. I will be watching it. We'll put it that way. I'll find a way.
Good. All right. Well, brilliant. Thank you so much for coming on, Josh. As always, it's always great to have you on and great to hear your thoughts. You're probably the only sufferable Arsenal fan I can really talk to, if I'm honest.
I kept it pretty light today. I texted an Arsenal friend and said I was going on a Villa podcast, and he goes, "Tell them they can't moan about financial fair play." Blow all of that. Blow all that Rodgers, Nacho and Jackson.
It's I'm not going to get into that. But anyway, we've had this discussion a lot on WhatsApp. Right.
No, it's fair to say we've had some insufferable Arsenal fans comment and stuff. So it's at least I guess it's a.
I guarantee this video will get Arsenal fans all over it.
Yeah, it'll be all over. I'll have said something weird about a wrong result in 2023, and some Arsenal fans going to fucking call me some plastic clown or something. We're the worst fan base in the world, but it's because we're the biggest fan base in the world. So I'll leave you with that.
You're doing so well, Josh.
Go on, Gary. Final thoughts. Take us out.
Final thoughts. Look, listen, guys. If you're going to Villa Park on Monday, let's just get behind the boys. The expectation needs to just be lowered a little bit at the moment. We know we're going through a period of transition, but keep the faith in Unai Emery. We trust. Until the next one, everyone. As always, every week we follow the boys in claret and blue.
See ya.